Hey everybody, it's Allie and welcome to our Y&R chat for Sunday, October 2nd, 2016. Phyllis is down, but she is not out. I almost have to admire her tenacity this week. It's just too bad that she didn't fight this hard for her marriage before she decided to sleep with her husband's brother. At least before he found out about it. I can't help but feel that if Phyllis would have fought harder before the whole bomb blew up, and if Jack would have fought harder against Victor after the Marco bomb blew up, these two people would not be in the situation that they're in today. Remarkably, Phyllis wakes up from her coma this week. It was a temporary coma. Thank goodness that she did not have amnesia or she didn't wake up with any other weird symptoms. She seems to just wake up more determined to rescue her relationship with Jack more than ever. It's Billy who's right there by her bedside when she awakens, and she tells him, sorry, nothing's changed. I still want to be with my husband. You still need to find a way to move on. And Phyllis is released from the hospital without very much fanfare at all. Meanwhile, though, John's ghost materializes very, very briefly this week, dispenses his wisdom to Jack, and then just kind of fades away into the background as quickly as he came. I think that might be the quickest John ghost sighting that we've ever had. It was like a drive-by ghosting. John's ghosting was just about as short as Phyllis's coma, even shorter. It was surprising because John is always there to represent Jack's more reasonable, rational, meek side. And this time I thought maybe that he was going to have an effect on the raging Jack that we've seen over the past week or two. I thought just for a brief moment, is Jack going to soften? Because John really encourages Jack to bring the family together, to mend the fences, particularly when it comes to Billy. And then Billy ends up coming to talk to Jack after John goes away into the mist, and he tells Jack he is removing himself from the equation altogether, that he's stepping back. How very gracious of you, Billy. After sleeping with Jack's wife, now you've decided to step away from the equation. But it was kind of a beautiful scene, and they had the modified Y&R music playing over the background, and I just thought, oh my gosh, we must be on a path toward the wounds of the Abbott family healing. And then a couple of scenes later, Jack is moving forward full speed with his divorce from Phyllis. I mean, he makes her hand over the key to the Abbott mansion and everything. It was such an awkward and heartbreaking scene. He tosses all of her beautiful clothes, probably unfolded, into these cardboard moving boxes and has them shipped off to Summer's place where Phyllis is now staying. She has been officially excommunicated from Jack's life. But will Phyllis take her hard knocks and realize that she screwed up and let Jack move along peacefully with his life? Nah, that wouldn't be very Phyllis-like. She tells Jack, fine, you know what? You can have your divorce. In fact, you can keep every red cent of all of your money, but I get to keep my job at Jabot. That is my one and only condition. Jack is furious at this idea. He would far rather give up, excuse me, a couple of $1 million just to get Phyllis out of his life forever. He'll pay the couple of million to not have to, in his mind, look at her lying, cheating face every single day at work. And despite Michael's very best efforts to try to convince Jack that this is just Phyllis trying to make amends, she really still loves him. She's being very, very gracious here. Jack does not take the offer lightly. He marches right over to Phyllis to give her this cruel dose of reality and tells her, look, you can play these games all of you want to. Let me tell you what the facts are. The facts are, I don't love you anymore. Which was such a stark moment between those two. I mean, we know as the audience that that's certainly not true. It's just not true. And I think maybe Phyllis knew that too as soon as the line left his lips. Love doesn't just disappear. It doesn't just vanish. And I think that the reason Jack wants her to vanish is because he still loves her so very much, and it's hard for him to look at her and think about how much she has betrayed him. But now, at the 11th hour, she's decided that she absolutely has to fight for her marriage, even if it means playing a little dirty. I mean, her perspective seems to be, I'm gonna make Jack love me again, even if it means I have to jam myself down his throat, which is so Phyllis. That was a Phyllis move when it came to Danny. It was a Phyllis move when it came to Nick, and now she's making it a Phyllis move when it comes to Jack. I had to admire it a little bit. I gotta tell you, there's just something about the fact that she refuses to give up that made me think, well, you know what? You go ahead. You go and try to fight for your marriage, even if it makes you look so terribly bad. I mean, she says, if you are not just gonna give me my job back, Jack, then we'll just have to go to court and I'll just take half of your shares in the company. So you're going to end up working with me one way or the other. Either you can save yourself the money and just give me the job, or we'll full-blown go to court since we don't have a prenuptial agreement, and I will probably take the money and have your shares, and you're still gonna have to see me anyway. So excuse me now while I go get ready for work. And of course, she comes into Jabot a couple of hours later looking like $1,000,000. I mean, couldn't be her more beautiful self. And the second Jack saw her, and then I saw Jack, and that big old Jack Abbott smile sprawl across his face, I knew Phyllis was in for it. I knew it was not going to be a pretty scene. He decides to have her follow him to where she'll be working now, and it's pretty much a dank, dark office. It's probably next to the boiler room or in some pit of the Jabot building. And he just dumps this mountain of paperwork on top of her desk like she's just someone who walked in from a temp agency and tells her to go through all that paperwork, and he wants it done by morning. I guess that's what your tenacity is going to get you. You think you're just going to get Jack back by apologizing, saying you're sorry, and showing that you want to change? No. It's going to take a heck of a lot more than that to win his approval back after what you did to him. So try not to chip your manicure, Phyllis. And by the way, paper cuts are a bitch. Devon decides to take it upon himself to try to get the media to stop hounding Jack and Phyllis. So he pays a visit to GC Buzz TV offices, and he is going to try to convince them to lay off, to stop hounding everyone in Genoa City. He wants to change. He wants them to just decide to stop being a muckraking magazine/TV show and to change their ways. It was kind of a fun scene. It was a fun set. I really liked getting to see this GC Buzz office. It was fun. They had a foosball table. I mean, lots of little details around the set that made it fun. I mean, the guys were drinking beers. Somebody's scooter was sitting off in the corner. I mean, they had the rules for the refrigerator, like magneted up on the refrigerator. I just thought it was kind of a cool set. It really did remind me of one of those like hip office styles that, like people who work in advertising sometimes have, or media sometimes have. It was just kind of a neat set. We got to see David Faustino as the, I guess, head of GC Buzz. Some of you guys might remember him. He's famously, of course, from Married with Children, but it was kind of nice to see him. A little pleasant surprise. I thought he played his role very well. He was funny playing off of Devon. Devon's trying to convince him to chill out, and he's like, yeah, no, I don't think so. You guys and your family and the Abbotts, they're paying our bills. If it bleeds, it leads. Like, we're going with what we're going with. And when he doesn't agree to Devon's will, Devon just buys the company and fires everybody. He fires the reporter, who is also somebody, I'm not sure, I didn't recognize him, but I know he was kind of supposed to be somebody that had his own fans, the actor anyway. That guy got fired very ceremoniously by Devon. I mean, Devon just decides to take over GC Buzz completely for himself, and I'm like, go for it, man. What's the good of having all that money if you can't make extravagant, unnecessary business investments? So you go for it, Devon. It was good. Plus, I kind of think Hillary and Devon would be the perfect new Genoa City gossip slingers. Like, there's something about, the idea of Devon and Hillary owning a gossip TV station and magazine and just kind of being the new Restless Style in town is intriguing to me. I thought it was great. I mean, who better to have this kind of spotlight than Hillary? I mean, we tried doing this back in the Restless Style days. It was entertaining for a while, and I liked, by the way, that Billy brought that up. Everybody's getting ready to watch Hillary's first broadcast as the new anchor of GC Buzz TV, and Billy said, I mean, I tried to do this thing too, and I just like that they brought it. Y&R acknowledged that that Young and the Restless has kind of done something like this before, but I think it was fun, and I was like, yes, this is going to be a fresh new spin. Hillary's perfect for this. Devon is kind of boring in a way, so I would like to see him do something a little more interesting. It just seemed like all of the stars were gonna align until they decided that they were wanting to make GC Buzz be about gossip with a conscience. That's where they lost me. I was like, a conscience? I don't have a conscience with my gossip. I mean, she opens up her first show and she starts diving into the muck of Jack and Phyllis's marriage, but she shelters them and she starts going on about how we should be more rational and reasonable when we're dealing with gossip. And I was like, this is so boring. Who would watch this show? If I lived in Genoa City, I think this would be the first and last time I ever would have tuned in to GC Buzz. I mean, I'd rather see Hillary do some kind of fashion reporting rather than a show about how we should all be more reasonable. She looked absolutely fabulous in that hot pink dress she was wearing. I was like, girl, let's just talk about some fashion if you can't get the gossip thing right. Or better yet, can somebody please bonk her on the head so we can get evil Hillary back? Victoria does not want a man that everybody approves of. Victoria wants a man who Daddy hates and who is going to make Billy jealous. So Victor liking Travis, for one thing, is the virtual kiss of death. I have serious concerns about their relationship solely based on the fact that Victor likes him. It was, by the way, kind of a cute scene between Victor and Jill this week. I always wondered why Victor and Jill never hooked up. I was always kind of waiting for it. I mean, Jill's been with everybody else in Genoa City, but I don't even think Y&R has ever really alluded to a relationship with Victor and Jill. They've always just kind of been more cordial. But it was fun seeing them in a scene together. He scoffed at her attempt to hire Travis, wanting to reunite Billy and Victoria, and he tells Jill, you must be slipping. Maybe I should try to hire him. And he did all week. Victor tries to hire Travis, and I freaking loved Travis this week. I don't know what it is about him. I like how straight up he is. I enjoyed him busting out his business knowledge on Victor, telling Victor straight how he feels about Newman Enterprises, laying out the problems with the company, and I think kind of alluding to Jack's new pet project. Travis says something about how Newman is not doing very well and there's blood in the water and the vultures are circling, which I think is in reference to Jack, because even last week we saw Jack march into the office and tell some secretary that he wanted all the info he could get on Newman Enterprises. So I think we are definitely gearing up for that, and I think that's what Travis was alluding to. But Victor was absolutely shameless in recruiting Travis for an executive position. I mean, they had that scene at the athletic club where Victor's kind of courting him and trying to lure him in with the big dollars and benefits package. And I can tell you, the one thing I love more than a duffel bag full of cash is the undisclosed dollar amount written on a napkin or a small piece of paper and then gently slide it across a desk or a table. I love that move, and I very much enjoyed seeing Victor make that offer to Travis, who turned it down flat. And then a couple of days later, completely changed his mind and accepted Victor's offer. What? Wait a minute, Travis. You've been going on and on about how you don't want to play this game, and now all of a sudden it didn't take that much before you just decided to accept Victor's offer, and you didn't really talk to Victoria about it first. Victoria was like, wait a minute, I mean, what happened to the simple life? What happened to the talk about independence? What happened to you wanting to sail your boat around the world? Well, I mean, you left the rat race because you didn't like this lifestyle, and now all of a sudden you think you can just take the job and take the money and not accept the lifestyle and the responsibility that all comes with it. I can completely understand why Victoria was not happy about Travis's decision. I think that part of the allure of Travis for her was that he wasn't like the other guys. I mean, Victoria could probably have her pick of any of the cutthroat executives at Newman Enterprises or Jabot or any of these people in town, but there was something about Travis that was just more simple that I think she really enjoyed. Also, why does Travis get to work with her daddy at the company that she really wants to be at? Why should Travis get all the praise when Victor didn't even blink an eye when Victoria left Newman Enterprises a month or so ago? She's working at Brash and Sassy, not being a head honcho with a couple, having to work with Billy and share the power responsibilities with several other executives. She wants to be at the helm of Newman. She was at the helm of Newman when Victor was in jail, and now all of a sudden she's completely butted out of the scenario, and Travis just gets to go in and get the great business package, and he's going to be involved in a power position, probably with Victor as one of his right hand, or probably as one of Victor's right hand men. So I mean, I completely understand Victoria's position. I think she also has a very clear picture of who her father is, and I think she knows what being involved in Victor's world does to people, and she doesn't want that to be done to Travis or to be done to their relationship. I think she is very, very and understandably concerned about what this could mean for her own future. So she lets Travis know that. I mean, Billy's been barking in her ear, planting seeds that it ain't good if Travis is hanging out with Victor. Something's going on there, and Victoria is, rightly taking that advice and taking that concern to heart. I think she's trying to put it off, but it bothers her, and Travis, he has some smoothing over to do. He takes Victoria to Hank's, to their bar, and the way he's just kind of he's sort of romancing her in a way that's like, don't worry about it, baby. Don't ask too many questions. Everything's gonna be fine. I know who I am. It's just a job. And it was a cute scene. I mean, they were going back for their one last dance to their music that they were dancing to when they first met. And it was really, I mean, I like Travis. I like them together, but there's just this feeling of doom over them now that I can't shake. I feel like they're just enjoying one last idyllic moment before the bombs start going off, because Victor is going to use Travis and spit him back out. I feel like in the end, Travis is a means to an end. He is a pawn. I think Victor is going to use Travis as his new lapdog in the war that's brewing between Newman and Jabot. I think Travis is going to be there like a dog growling at Jack's feet, and I don't know, possibly even panting at Ashley's. So Ashley and Travis, hello, stuck in an elevator together. That can't be a coincidence. What is up with that? Ooh-hoo-hoo. Oh my goodness, I think we have a possible love triangle brewing here. Ashley, she needs a man, and here she is, stuck in an elevator. Thank God she was wearing her sexiest red dress that was cut so low that you could see her bra in both the front and the back. Isn't it adorable how Faith, a little girl, probably not that much older than Delia was when she died, just ran away from Mariah's care, but ended up with a free couture dress from a major fashion designer at the end of it. And I believe there was also a, oh Faith, let's go get some ice cream moment after it was all said and done. This kid, let me tell you. Take what I'm about to say with a grain of salt, my friends, but Faith grates on my nerves. I always get in trouble when it comes to these, when Y&R sort of elevates a child actor and makes them a little too wise, makes them a little too adult, puts them a little too front and center. I mean, there have been child actors that I really like. Cassie was a really good example. She had a good balance of screen time, and Delia, I really liked Delia, but I'm thinking back, I got myself into trouble because I couldn't stand, Devon had a little cousin or something named Anna, and she just grated on my nerves, and she was always right there to sing a song on the show. It drove me nuts, and Faith is very fast getting to that level for me. I'm sorry, I'm a terrible, horrible person, but Faith really, really bugs me. She just seems like such a little brat to me. It's her birthday this week, so she needs a dress and a party and a cake, and everybody just caters to her and gives her all the attention, and it's all about her, and it drives me nuts. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love a party. I thought the party was absolutely fabulous. I mean, I guess if I had to put up with Faith this week in order to get like a really fun birthday party, I suppose it was well worth it. It was a lot of fun. I mean, we had the balloons and that pink punch and of course the birthday cake, and everybody was gathered at Crimson Lights. It was so awesome. I loved the photo booth sequence where they're all doing those photos with, I don't know what you call those little stick things, like they all had stick mustaches and funny little hats and hairdos on a stick, and it was just really cute. I loved that idea. I loved Victor's legendary happy birthday song singing, and of course the fact that he had to give Faith her ceremoniously give her a framed copy of Newman's stock Newman stock options. Oh, it was so funny. But let me tell you, when Faith got that pony, I just about lost it. I'm looking at this kid and I'm like, I kind of hate her. I'm sorry, that and you could probably, that's my evil laugh, but I felt it from my soul. I kind of hate this kid. Like, maybe I'm jealous, I don't know. I've been a part of Victor's family for 20 years and never once has he bought Allie a pony. Where's my pony, Victor? I just think there's something so ironic about a man who grew up with absolutely nothing, always going on about Jack Abbott and how he was born with a silver spoon in his mouth, and yet Victor can't imagine a world where a child should grow up without her own pony. I mean, Faith could care less about the stock certificate. She has no concept of how the stock certificate is what keeps the pony factory in business. Kevin and Chloe are so cozy. All of a sudden, Chloe's practically cooing all over him. I don't know where this came from. She seemed completely indifferent to him when she first came into town, and now all of a sudden, poof, she seems to be missing their relationship. Kind of sad that they ended up getting divorced, asking him out on dates, giggling like a little girl. It's out of nowhere for me. Last week's poll question for the Y&R chatters was, are you rooting for Kevin and Chloe to get back together? 93% said, no. Only 7% seem to be on board with the Kevin and Chloe reunion. So it's kind of a resounding, I suppose, answer on that one. I like Ellen's comment about this. Are we really supposed to care about Chloe's love life? Really, Y&R? We supposedly just watched her murder Adam in cold blood over the accidental death of Delia, and now she's all snuggled up to Adam's widow and son with no hint of remorse. I mean, I don't care about Chloe's love life. I just want her to get caught and punished. I like that perspective on things. I think that probably nails it on a deeper level, because to me, I'm just thinking, I think she's using Kevin. She's lying to him. She's using to him. He just seems like the same wimpy guy that he was at the end of their marriage. I don't think Chloe is a good look for Kevin, and so that makes me not like it, but that's such a deeper meaning that, I mean, for crying out loud, Chloe is a villain character. We're not necessarily supposed to be rooting for her. I was glad that Mariah called her out. In fact, that was a very happy moment for me at Faith's party, where Mariah just said, I think that you're using Kevin and I don't want to watch it. I don't even necessarily think that it's about jealousy for Mariah, although she doesn't like anybody that Kevin's with, if we're honest, because she is still in love with him. But at the same time, she sees, I think, what the audience sees, which is just that Chloe is no good for Kevin. And Mariah decides, you know what? I'm calling you out, Chloe. And by the way, you never said sorry about the whole hitting me over the head with a bottle thing. Thanks. Mariah's like, I'm done. She quits her job. And it's just, I'd rather not have that job than to have to watch the daily gag fest that is yours and Kevin's relationship. So, see ya. She also, by the way, and I think maybe importantly, kind of hips Dylan to Chloe's BS. I mean, Dylan is unable to pursue anything having to do with Victor and his connection to Adam's death, but that doesn't necessarily mean that he can't investigate Chloe, and I wonder if Mariah saying that to Dylan will at least give him a reason to maybe go at Chloe a little bit harder, and I'm hoping that that's the direction it's gonna go. I mean, what's Chelsea gonna think when her grape gobbling best friend is revealed to have had a major involvement in Adam's arrest and death? I mean, it is hard to get fully connected with Chloe, especially when she is all too happy to be there for Chelsea as she's mourning her husband and trying to figure out how Nick fits into her life, when we know that Chloe is behind so much of it. She's responsible for so much of it. It does kind of make me gag that I want them to be friends, friends. I want their friendship to be real. I like girlfriend relationships on the show. There aren't enough of them, but there's just this huge lie in between them. And now this week we have a new added little element for Chelsea. Sharon makes the mistake of kind of planting the seed with little Faith, the little matchmaker. I think it's that it drives me nuts when children act too much like adults, or like it's clear that a child is being written by an adult and so does adult things. I mean, I don't, maybe that's what it is, because Faith is just she's just like this nosy little matchmaker, and Sharon has said to her that or alluded to at least the fact that Daddy and Chelsea make each other happy. So Faith goes and blabs to Chelsea, and Nick, being the nice guy that Nick is, he gives Chelsea a hug. He wants to comfort her. I mean, he wants to connect with her, and it just creates this awkward moment between them. Chelsea completely freaks out, like, oh my gosh, Faith says, that Faith is obviously picking up on something, and maybe Faith believes that Nick has feelings for me. I mean, it just like rocks Chelsea's mind, and the hug freaks her out, and so it's just this horribly awkward moment inside of something that should have just been sweet and supportive. And I tell you, there was a lot of talk about this at yrchat.com this week, Nick and Chelsea's relationship in general. And I think I'm going to bring this up as our poll question for the week and let you guys vote and tell me, is it too soon for the Nick and Chelsea romance? Because obviously that's how Chelsea feels and how Nick feels, but Y&R seems to be pushing forward with it, because there is a part of me that's watching the show, and actually I was thinking this all week, that Nick and Chelsea seem like they have so much potential to be a cute couple, but Adam died like 3 weeks ago. It hasn't been very long at all. It would be inappropriate for Nick or Sharon or Chelsea or anybody, I think, to be suggesting that they would be getting involved. It's weird, right? Or is it just me? I don't know. You tell me. Is it too soon for the Nick and Chelsea romance? yrchat.com if you would like to vote and sound off on this week's question. And there were so many good comments about that this week. And I think more importantly, it's kind of like more of a soap opera thing. I mean, yes, I personally think it's too soon, but soaps like do tend to want to cram couples together. I see a lot of it on Bold and the Beautiful, which is admittedly a shorter soap, so they don't have as much time, but it's like, why don't you just slow roll this one? Because I could very much get into a relationship between Nick and Chelsea. I think it would be great, but at the same time, like, I just would rather them maybe take it easy, maybe have the type of friendship, the just friends thing that's going on between Chloe and Chelsea. Swap out Chloe with Nick, drop him in there, let these two people bond over something that they've just been through in losing a spouse, and then let the relationship flourish from there. Instead, it feels to me like Y&R's trying to cram them together a little bit too much. But I mean, then again, they are a cute couple. Maybe you feel like that it's time, that you're ready. Like, why wait? Adam's gone, let's go for it. So I'm gonna be curious to see the results and comments on that poll question this week. Nick, he realized that Faith said something to Chelsea and that the hug looked accidentally like more than it was, and he goes and he rips into Sharon, which was great, and also has to yet again kind of ask forgiveness from Chelsea. She was pushing him away, I think, the last week, and he was trying to get back into her good graces, and now here we are again, 1 step forward, 2 steps back. This poor guy just lost his wife, and I think he's innocently wanting to bond with someone who's going through the same thing, and Sharon, with good intentions, had to stick her nose in and make the whole thing look weird, mostly because she's trying to mitigate her own guilt, the guilt that she feels for what she thinks she's done to Nick, stealing his baby away from him. Sharon is getting more hang-up phone calls this week. And early in the week, I thought to myself, is there any chance that Chloe could be making those calls? Because Chelsea and Chloe were having that conversation about Sharon and what she said. And Chloe just seemed so defensive of Chelsea and annoyed with Dylan's meddling. And I thought to myself, well, maybe Chloe has set her head to messing with Sharon to defend Chelsea and maybe occupy Dylan, or maybe Chloe can just recognize one secret keeper from another, considering she's keeping a big paternity secret, and maybe she is just gonna decide to mess with Sharon. But then I thought, well, maybe the phone calls are coming from Ghost Sage. Halloween is right around the corner. Maybe the calls are coming from within the house. That would have been a little bit fun. Or maybe it was in Sharon's head still, except for that Dylan got one. But then Faith gets her anonymous baby doll gift. She opens up a box that's been left on the porch. No card, no signed, no idea who it could be from, but it's a baby doll. And then immediately afterwards, Sharon gets a phone call, and finally a voice on the other end reveals itself to be Patty. Yay! Yes. Hallelujah. I see a light at the end of this tunnel. It is not a party without Patty, whose life is just a bowl of cherries right now, sarcastically. Why, that could be none other than Jack. That was last week's Who Said It quote. My life is just a bowl of cherries right now. And it was Jack who said it at the Abbott Winters Foundation meeting, where he was quitting and wanting to dissolve his relationship with the foundation. It was just a great sarcastic moment. I thought it was funny. And 11 of you got it right. So congratulations to Sharita, Nancy, Shakonda, Tanya, Jen, Henry, Harper, Jasmine, Gina, Troy, and Amanda. Congratulations, you guys. You all got it right. How about a new one for this week? You can tell me who you think said this at Faith's party. Did someone slip hallucinogens into the punch? They would have had to. That would have maybe made the party even more fun. Can you guess who said that? Did someone slip hallucinogens into the punch? YRChat.com if you would like to guess who said it. And if you get it right, I will leave you your big shout out on next week's YNR Chat. Let's get to some comments from you guys. Daisy on Facebook says, I'm going to guess that Sharon will come clean to Dylan, and then Dylan will help Sharon conceal the truth. Dylan is supposedly the truth seeker and truth teller, but when it comes to losing a child he thinks is his, again, I don't think he'll do it. That doesn't mean Patty will stop harassing Sharon, so I imagine Dylan will convince his aunt to keep quiet about everything, and if that happens, the truth may not come out until Christian is grown. So what do you guys think about the truth coming out? I mean, is it possible that Patty is going to try to force this issue out into the light, and instead of it actually coming out into the light, do you think that it will stay in the shadows? And will Dylan possibly have something to do with help keeping it there? I'm not sure. I wonder if because Dylan is the truth seeker, I almost can't see him deciding to bond toward Sharon. I can see him more wanting to, get the truth out there and get, Nick to his rightful son, and I just think that Dylan's gonna leave Sharon's ass as soon as he finds out about it. But I don't know, anything could happen. Patty is such a wild card. I'm really happy to see her back. I like the actress. I like the potential that the character could bring. Anna left me a voicemail saying, what happened to Ashley minding her own business? She was all up in Jack's divorce this week. She needs a man. Yeah, it was just last week that Ashley was going on about how she needs to back out of all of this drama, and now here she is being the pit bull for Jack. Like what? A couple days later. Aaron on YouTube says, we forget that this isn't the first time that Billy betrayed Jack by sleeping with Phyllis. Remember in 2006 when Billy also slept with Sharon when she was married to Jack? At this point, it's time for Jack to cut Billy out of his life forever, family or no family. Yeah, I forgot about that, Aaron. I mean, this isn't the first time that Billy has slept with a spouse of Jack's. Oh my gosh. I mean, for all the talking we've done about this, I completely forgot about that other betrayal. Gosh, that's a good point. Robbie at yrchat.com says, I hate Billy. There, I said it. He's so unlikable. I can't stand him. And I used to love him. When Billy Miller played him, he was one of my favorite characters, but this interpretation of the character has nothing but unlikable character traits. Ew, he just disgusts me. Even the way he talks makes my skin crawl. And then Lotfally at yrchat.com follows up and says, Billy used to be one of my favorites too. The character was a scalawag, but good-hearted and funny and self-effacing. This incarnation is glowering and angry and has no redeeming qualities. Now, to give an opposite perspective here, Ellen at yrchat.com says, am I the only one here who likes our current Billy? He's honest about what he feels, and he doesn't hold back. Phyllis belongs with him, in my opinion. Obviously, the affair was very wrong. End one relationship before you start the next one. But this is soaps. It's where the drama's at. So where are we all standing on current Billy? I think they need, I think they need to reel him back a little bit. I do like Ellen's point that he is very straightforward. He is very real. I like the actor. I most definitely like the actor. I think Y&R has just decided him to take him in a really unlikable guy direction. I think that maybe they're trying to pull him back a little bit at this point. What is it with the fact that he seems to be very supportive of Victoria and Travis's relationship. He doesn't seem to really mind that Travis is taking such an active interest in the lives of his kids. Maybe that's Y&R's way of kind of softening him up. He did go to Jack this week and try to extend the olive branch. Ashley tried to have a talk with him this week to try to get him to tell Phyllis to go away from Jack and accept the divorce and disappear, and Billy wouldn't do it. So maybe Y&R took Billy down this path as a result of the old regime and the old writers, and maybe we'll get him back to a little bit more of that scalawag kind of place. But I think it's a more mature Billy. It's definitely a different Billy. I don't think it's completely without redeeming qualities, in my opinion. But yeah, something definitely a little bit that needs to be done there. Tawny on YouTube says Jack should have had more feelings and understood Phyllis more when she was and where she was coming from. She felt like an idiot and ashamed for not knowing she was with oh gosh, I'm sorry, I'm doing a terrible job of reading this. Let me start over. Jack should have had more feelings and understood Phyllis more and where she's coming from. She felt like an idiot and ashamed for not knowing she wasn't with the real Jack. I mean, seriously, Jack was married to Emily, and all the while it was really Patty he was with. I love that idea. I never thought of that for all the times that we've talked about this storyline. Phyllis didn't know that she was not with the real Jack, but Jack didn't know that he wasn't with the real Emily. Hello! That would have been such a great callback for Y&R to work into the story, and they didn't quite pick up on that. I think, Tawny, you should be like a researcher at Y&R. That would be helpful for them. I mean, all you guys, like the fans, they should be crowdsourcing ideas from the fans because you guys remember things that would just be so brilliant for them to have worked into the mix. Zooperplex at yrchat.com says, asking Hillary to host GC Buzz is like waving a shot of bourbon in front of a recovering alcoholic. Yes, I love that comment because it's both a zing and it's really relevant to what goes on with the Winters family. Do you think that Hillary is ultimately going to drop the nicey nice act? Will she decide to be the vicious muckraker that maybe I'm hoping that she will be? I'm keeping my fingers crossed. Astra on Facebook says, forget Hillary as GC Buzz's new host. Devon should have hired Faith. She has all the latest gossip. Yeah, good old Faith. You guys are gonna kill me this week. I'm almost not looking forward to hearing you guys fire back at me about me picking on poor little Faith. What is wrong with me? She just seems like a brat. I just think like if I knew Faith and Faith came over to my house and she was just being Faith all over the place, I can't see myself going, aw, isn't that cute? Isn't everything that she does precious? It's not. Everything Faith does is just not precious. I'm sorry. I'm grumpy or something today. Gary left me a voicemail saying, you know, if you think about it, Y&R is mirroring Y&R chat itself. Gossip with a conscience. That's us. Y&R chat. Gossip with a conscience. Maybe that should be the new tagline. Except I'm not being very conscious, having a very strong conscience when it comes to poor little Faith. Justin left me a voicemail saying, I'm disappointed in Y&R because they did not acknowledge the anniversary of Catherine's death, especially with Jill being back. I mean, every year they acknowledge Cassie's death. I hadn't thought about that, Justin. It would have been a perfect opportunity this week, too, because we had that wonderful Chancellor Park scene, Lauren and Jill hanging out there, and the little bit of crow that Lauren had to eat. The park was decorated so beautifully with fall mums and foliage, and there's that Chancellor Park sign right there. It would have been a great opportunity to at least say, Catherine, you know, she died around this time of year, and you know, I miss her, and what would she have thought about this or that? I mean, yeah, it is kind of interesting that Y&R has really always gone out of their way to acknowledge Cassie's death date, the anniversary of, and not so much Catherine. Maybe they felt like they were giving us lots of Catherine with the house remodel, maybe, but they could have mentioned it then too. I don't know, they dropped the ball on that one maybe. Jamie at yrchat.com says, I just watched the This Is Us premiere and it is awesome. Justin Hartley was awesome. And then James follows that up at yrchat.com saying, the first episode was brilliant, was not expecting the ending, and the second episode had a surprise ending as well. Justin Hartley does a great job. So there's a lot of buzz about This Is Us. I went and got my hair cut this week, and my hairdresser asked me if I'd seen the show This Is Us. So, I mean, apparently it's very big, very good. I mean, it had to have been good enough that Justin Hartley felt like, okay, this is a strong show that's gonna keep going, so I'm not gonna be able to continue with Y&R. This is a big break for him, and more power to him. I have to admit, I didn't watch it, and I probably won't watch it, mostly because I don't have time to pick up any new shows. I've got my hands full with my Y&Rs, my Bold and the Beautiful, my Y&R chats, all the CBS stuff. I got to deal with Survivor now. So I probably am not going to watch it, but there's also like a teeny part of me, I think, too, that just feels jealous toward This Is Us because they stole our Adam. Okay, everybody, that just about does it for old Allie this week. I know you can't wait to sound off and tell me off about my faith opinions, so here's where you can do it. I think the best place is yrchat.com because you can leave comments on the blog there and kind of chat with each other throughout the week, which is fun for me to read and watch and see you guys interacting too. But you can also from the website find the YouTube and the Facebook pages and leave comments there, or you can call into my voicemail at 309-588-4669. 4569. Hearing from you guys is the best part of my week, so thank you, and I hope you keep them coming. I'm going to keep the Y&R chats coming, no matter how badly reamed I get. So I will see you all next week. Everybody have a good one. Bye!